If you want to make consistent money in 2021, don't go anywhere. This is the video you want to watch. What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a great day so far. My name is Darren, and my goal is to summarize information and news in a way that you can use to make money. If you find any value in this video, all I ask is that you give the video a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Today, we're going to talk about ETFs. Specifically, 6 ETFs that I believe are set up to blow the market out of the water this year. So just a side note, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. So basically, they kind of group together stocks into similar sectors. And then what that does is that gives you the ability to more or less play that sector or invest in that sector without having to take the risk of individual stocks. So if you want to make some serious money in 2021, but consistent at the same time, you may be interested in one of these ETFs, if not more than one. But I will say these aren't your typical run-of-the-mill ETFs. These ETFs I'm going to talk about today are focused on rapid growth sectors and market outperformers. 5 of the 6 most people probably have never even heard of. So let's jump into it. So just for reference, so you can see the kind of growth potential with these 6, we'll look at 2 most popular ones real quick. So that's VTI and VOO. So VTI is a total stock market ETF. And as you can see here, over the last year, their performance was a growth of 22%, which is, I mean, that's a pretty good year for the whole stock market, considering the pandemic. VOO, which is the S&P version, S&P 500 ETF, its 1-year performance was a growth of 19%. So despite the pandemic, the entire market did really well in 2021, but we want to take it up a notch. So we're going to look at some of the top performers from 2020 and how they can continue their amazing growth rate into 2021, as well as a few that are just getting started. First up, ticker symbol PBW. All right, so this is Invesco Wilder Hill Clean Energy ETF. It did great in 2020. This fund invests in 46 green energy stocks, things such as solar energy firms, lithium miners, electric vehicle makers, and you can see some of the holdings over here on the side here. It was one of the top 5 equity ETFs on the market in 2020, and so if you're looking at it right where it's currently at, it's at $131 per share. Its 1-year performance is up 260%. Okay. Which, you know, under normal conditions, if it was a normal stock, you would think, well, it's done, right? I mean, it's made its big run, it's finished. But if you look at where we're at, as far as the political climate of the United States, anything related to green energy is only going to get more popular. So even though it has already made a great jump, I see this one being another potential triple-digit gainer this year. But even if it doesn't make triple digits, right? Anything that beats the market is what we're looking for here. So I could definitely see that with PBW. Next up, number 2 is BETZ, right? Bets. So this one is related to the sports betting sector. Sports, you know, as you know, weren't immune to COVID-19. You had a lot of cancellations. A lot of professional sports had to cancel their seasons, had to shorten them, had to play them in a bubble. They even canceled the NCAA tournament. Right. And so you would think in a year like that, anything related to sports betting would be down. But that was quite the opposite. Despite that landscape in 2020, sports betting revenues were on pace to finish above $2.3 billion, which is 150% growth over the previous year. Currently, the price is at $29 a share. And this is not even that old of an ETF. They just began trading in June of 2020, and since then they're up already 83%. So if you think of the growth they had in 2020, and then look at 2021 as sports are kicking back up, you know, they found a way to play to continue on, and then hopefully the pandemic calms down, and you'll see this continue to grow. Along with that, you've got states now that are that were against online gambling. They are now accepting it. More states it seems like every other week. And so you'll continue to have more and more users on these platforms, and that'll only continue to grow the revenue of this, right? So as each of these stocks grow, that contributes to the overall. So rather than try to pick 1 or 2 that I think is going to be great, I'm playing the field, right? I'm taking the field on this one, and I will be buying some BETZ. Next up is FinX, F-I-N-X. So Global X FinTech is made up of stocks from the financial technology sector, such as Square, PayPal, Intuit, amid several others. So these had a right to jump up in 2020, right? A lot of them were sparked by pandemic required changes. But I believe that these companies are some that are going to be popular going forward, right? I think this is one aspect of life that we will see as a continuation. I don't think this will go away at the end of the pandemic. I think more and more people are going to continue to use these platforms, this financial technology sector, going forward. I think that is the future. Currently, their share price is at $47 per share, and their one-year performance is at 48%. So there's still plenty of room to grow here. If you believe in any of these companies, if you use Venmo, PayPal, Square, right? I mean, these are things we use on a day-to-day basis. Do you think that's going away? I don't either. So I'm investing. Next up is our old class favorite, ARK, A-R-K-K. I couldn't leave it out. I mean, I know it's a beast. I know everybody knows about it, but it's a beast for a reason. So let's talk about that. You've probably heard about ARK. They've got a whole group of ETFs. It's an actively managed group of ETFs by Cathie Wood. She's must be a stock genius because she does great at every fund that she manages. Their stock had a huge jump this year. A lot of people will come out and say, yeah, but that was Tesla. It was Tesla. Okay, that was one of the picks. Still a great pick. I mean, I don't care if it was Tesla was a big piece of it. It was still a great choice by that company to invest in it. And that wasn't the only one. You can see some of the other top 10 holdings here, and they all had smash years. The reason I like this one is because it is actively managed. So they don't just throw it in there and then not look at it again. They are looking at it on a daily basis. They're buying and selling stocks as necessary in the dips. When it hits a high point, right? They're taking profits, they're reinvesting, and they're constantly balancing their portfolio. So, Tesla became a huge part of their portfolio. What they do? They sold off a lot of it and balanced their portfolio. Their current share price is about $145, and their one-year performance is 182%. I wish I'd have got that. But hey, it is what it is. Even though this one did run up massively last year, on this one, I'm buying into Cathie Wood and her team. I believe that they've got a good team built. They focused a lot on disruptive innovation, which is just it's the next level, right? It's next gen. It's forward thinking. So these are a lot of times your sectors and your stocks that are going to blow up because they're the next big thing. And so I'm when you have those things happening, a lot of opportunity to make some serious money in that situation. So definitely one to keep on the watch list, if not add to the portfolio. Number 5, IPO. Yeah, IPO, like initial public offering. But this is an ETF for IPOs. I mean, this is crazy. You saw in 2020, especially the end of 2020, the IPOs blew up. I mean, you had things like Airbnb, DoorDash, a whole ton of IPOs. So 2020, when it started off rocky, a lot of people pulled their money out of IPOs, right? If your main companies are tanking, why would you put your money into, the little guys that you're not sure of? You're going to put your money into the big ones that are going to recover. And so you would think that an ETF like this wouldn't do well in 2020. But I beg to differ on that. The end of 2020, IPOs became all the rage. People made tons of money, including this ETF. Their current share price is $70 per share, and their one-year performance is 116%. So another piece of that is you've got more and more companies that are going public. More than 200 offerings were made during 2020, and that continues to rise. And there are going to be plenty of IPOs happening in 2021, so why not get in on those? It's hard to invest in an IPO. By the time we can get into it, most of the time, they're already skyrocketing. This is a way that you can get into IPOs and in the entire sector without having to have some kind of special magic. So it's definitely one that's it's interesting, but at the same time, I think it's worth it. Last up, this one is MSOS. So it's the Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF. Okay, so there are a few other ETFs out there related to cannabis. This one is U.S. focused only. They only started trading in September of 2020, and they've already collected a huge amount of assets. and they just have 25 companies within that ETF. More than half of it is dedicated to multi-site operations, which is where the ticker name comes from. So you've got sport cultivation, processing, retail facilities. It also deals in CBD companies, real estate trust. I don't know. I guess that works. Suppliers, biotech firms, and other connected industries, right? They're looking at the entire industry related to cannabis and where they think it's going to go. Current price on it is $45 per share. And then since September, it's already up 76%. The marijuana stocks, they not only recovered with the market last summer, but with the recent political change in the shift. So, I mean, when Biden won, or one of his platforms was the decriminalizing marijuana, and it's he's generally seen as more friendly towards cannabis, right, than the Republicans were. So this is a big win for weed. This is another one that has that great potential for growth going into 2021, and so it may be worthwhile of investing in as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. My goal here wasn't just to give you 6 stocks that will make you rich overnight. It was to kind of help you fill that void that happens in a lot of portfolios. A lot of us have single stocks, and then we have index funds. Right, this is kind of playing that middle ground where it's a little more safe than just individual stocks, but it's a little more risky, and therefore you get more bang for your buck than index funds. As always, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm merely giving you some information that hopefully you can use to kickstart some due diligence, some of your own investigation into maybe adding some of these ETFs or other ETFs like it into your portfolio. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment down below if there's a specific ticker or company or stock that you want me to break down. I would love to do that. So make sure that you do click those, comment down below. And all this is to make sure that you can keep your stock advantage. Have a great day and God bless.